In the most holy name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest apostle, our dear leader and teaching perfect guide, I greet you all once again in our nation's greetings, peace and of paradise of Assalamu alaikum. Our subject is titled, The Deceivers Are Hiding in Plain View. And I'm going to cover a few articles, old articles that was, and I refer to them as old, not because the knowledge is old, but I'm talking about the time when they were written. So don't get this twisted. There's no such thing as a shelf life to this teaching. But this is an article that was written October 21st, 1966, titled, No Peace for the Wicked. And it says, a warning to you who take the devil's promises to be true, by Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah. And I'm going to look at the definition of deceive. Mr. Muhammad opened up in this article titled, No Peace for the Wicked. And we know that the white man, he's wicked. And he's absent of peace. But he's also talking about his world. The people that fall under his deceit. Take from the Holy Quran, Surah 14, Ayat 22. And this is what the messenger referred to. And the devil will say, when the matter is decided, surely Allah promised you a promise of truth. And I promised you, then failed you. And I had no authority over you, except that I called you and you obeyed me. So blame me not, but blame yourselves. I cannot come to your help, nor can you come to my help. I deny your associating with me with Allah before. I deny your associating me with Allah before. Surely for the unjust is a painful chastisement. The messenger wrote, he said, here we have what the devil will say on the day of resurrection to those who follow and believe in him and who depend upon good to come from his promises. But when the chastisement of Allah comes to both the devil and his followers, then the devil will deny that he has misled his followers, and he will put the blame on those who follow him. For he will say, I had no authority over you except that I called you and you obeyed me. So blame me not, but blame yourselves. As we do each and every week, brothers and sisters, we refer to this board behind me, this blackboard. We call it the blackboard, but it's actually an actual or the actual facts board. Y'all pardon me, I'm a little weak today. Some days are better than others. Every day is great, praise be to Allah, because Allah has blessed me with life and an abundance of it. But I'm still wrestling with trying to recuperate from such a trying experience. But I'm grateful and thankful to Allah for his coming. And I'm grateful and thankful to Allah for raising up a messenger who gave meaning to my life. Because without Elijah Muhammad's program and his mission, my life will have no meaning. I will be just like everybody else, and that is to fall for the devil's deceit. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, give praise to Allah that you have a reason to live. So when the messenger comes from the Holy Quran, and I remember having this dialogue with some brothers on social media, which the internet is the theater of operations. It is the battle in the sky. And we like to refer to the Quran a lot, and we should, as well as the poison book, the Bible. And we refer to the Messenger's teachings and his writings, and his videos, and his audios, and his lectures, and his 43.5 years of work. With that being said, it's not that we are absent of knowledge. What we are absent of is comprehension. And there's no better way to identify our failure to comprehend this Islam than when we are dealing with the subject of separation. Then when we are dealing with the subject of uniting to acquire some land that we can call our own. This is when the manifestation of hypocrisy, disbelief, weakness, and so on and so forth begin to manifest itself in each and every one of us. There is no other way to qualify any of this which we claim to believe other than separation. So when we refuse to obey Allah and His Messenger, then we are responding to the call of the devil. You didn't hear me today. When we refuse, so I'm going to repeat it, all praise is due to Allah. When we refuse or we reject Allah, Master Farad Muhammad, and His Messenger Elijah Muhammad, the call for us to separate from our enemy, then naturally we are going to respond to the devil's call. And we are going to obey the devil. Where the devil says, don't put that on him. I just called you and you came. Again, this is our failure to comprehend. We think because we call ourselves Muslims, we eat bean pies, we pray 5 times a day, and we go through all the rituals and the religious constructs and components of Islam. We practice laws. We do not drink. We do not smoke. We do not eat pork, fornicate, gamble, adultery. There's a lot of things that we do not do. But who does that benefit? I mean, you have a lot of people who don't believe in no kind of God that do not participate in some of those actions. So our Islam, praises be to Allah, is centered around our ability to obey Allah and His Messenger in the way of separation. What makes this so hard is that the devil is the arch deceiver. That's what he was given the authority to do, to deceive. That's what Yaqub started out with. He said he questioned those Muslims. He had his followers to question those Muslims over 6,600 years ago about the origin of their first God. And they couldn't respond. So they began to start doubting. So Yaqub, he basically annihilated an entire civilization. Just on asking one question: who is God? And where is this God? And from there he said, well, I can teach a people to deceive the original people, and we can rule them. And that's what he did. And this ability to deceive us and this authority to deceive us is still prevalent today. So much so that we become self-deceived. And as I try to teach and train you every single week or every moment I get a chance to talk to the brothers and sisters, I am totally emphasizing to you the importance of accepting the truth, even against yourselves. Why? Pardon me. Because it keeps you and I from being self-deceived. The message of this warning is directed to the so-called lost found members of the Aboriginal nation of ours, the Black nation. We are the lost found members of the Aboriginal nation. We were lost here in the wilderness, and one left his holy throne, praise be to Allah. He took off his holy garments to come here to find us, and we were found. So we are referred to as the lost and found, the lost found. Praises be to Allah. For this work is going on now. Again, this article was written in 1966. The white man, the devil, is making promises to our people now. He causes our people to believe in that he is able to bring them peace of mind and contentment, money, good homes, and social equality as a member of the white race. How many a time, brothers and sisters, do you as a Muslim, you fail to perform the duty of Islam because you say you're chasing money? You say, I have to go buy me a home. Allah promised us all these things. But he promised it to us by serving Islam. He didn't promise us these things, brothers and sisters, by serving the devil. The devil promised us these things if we serve him. So at this board right here, can you see this board, Brother Jasir? Brother Khabir, are you there?
Yes, sir, I see it.
Okay. Are you with me, brother? You paying attention? Because I'm going to need your eyes, because I can't see.
Yes, sir, I was on mute trying to check the page at the same time.
Okay, all right. Thank you, brother. So, this board right here, it said which one will survive the war of Armageddon. Then we can get money and we can buy fine homes and have some social equality, but we still strung up in slavery, suffering, and death, which is the white man's religion called Christianity. Though we call ourselves Muslims, but we are actually Christians, as we taught on last week. We preached the laws of Islam, but we practice the laws of the devil. Why? Because we self-deceive. We are self-deceived. And where does this deception happen? Do your toes become deceived? Can you trick your finger? What about your ears? Can your ears be tricked? Deception happens what? In the mind, in the brain. What kind of knowledge rules the world? It's religious knowledge. So we go back to God. We're not understanding who is Allah. But the message, every time you look at the black man, you're looking at who? He said, praise be to Allah, you're looking at God. And then later on in the subject, 1974 Savior's Day, praises be to Allah, he said that if God wants to allow them to rule, you are honoring a ruler. So was he talking about a different God? than the black man? Again, we're talking about failure to comprehend. Or do you and I think he was talking about Master Fraud Muhammad? Said Master Fraud Muhammad wants to allow the devil to rule. Well, you have to really be way off in your Islam. Because the purpose of his coming was to separate us from the devil and then destroy the devil. And what was he going to use for said separation and destruction? His mind, his will, his power, his force that he deposited into a black man from among us. And this black man deposited into his students. But some of his students, brothers and sisters, they'll get deceived. And they become self-deceived. And I was talking to Brother Jasir today. We all fall into some form of deception due to our lack of cohesion. Our lack of unity forces you and I to serve the white man. It's one of the most damnable and dangerous positions to be in as a Muslim, that you are forced to go and bow down to your enemy because the other brothers and sisters that claim to believe, they won't obey Allah and the Messenger. So we here, we've directed our thoughts and our actions into finding an adequate amount of the right people that we can be on our way to building our own civilization. Yaqub only had 59,999. That gives us a hint. We don't need everybody. We just need an adequate amount. And as a teacher, 5% poor righteous teacher, I would say this is a tremendous task. From the entire almost 50 million of us. The people who go to church and they bow down to this false religion of the white man, that's one group of people. And then you got another group of people who worship themselves. Then you got another group of people who claim to be Muslim, but they have it in the wrong place. They're off the path. And as previously said, brothers and sisters, there's no way to identify this characteristic strain in us other than separation. Without separation, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that we will be deceived. You say, well, Brother Jasir, I ain't deceived. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. You're forcing me to be deceived. You say, well, how's that, brother? Because you won't do your part. You won't do your part, brothers and sisters. And it's an easy part to play. But it's something that you love of the white man. And all he got to do is call you, and you're going to go. He called you from your salvation. I'd just rather die. I'd rather not even be here. And I'm not suicidal. As previously said, Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah, gave meaning to my life. What about you? Let's keep going. The message said that the white man, the devil, is making promises to our people now. He causes our people to believe that he is able to bring them peace of mind and contentment, money, good homes, and social equality as a member of the white race. But how can you enjoy peace from the white man when he has no peace for himself? He's a peace breaker. He's not a peacemaker. He do divide and conquer. Have you fighting and killing one another. Then he said, come on, let me settle it. The courthouses and the jails and the cemeteries are filled with people that the white man have affected like this through his deception, lying on one another, coming in and telling lies. Yaqub told his followers to do this, thousands of years ago now. Go back into the Holy Land with the Muslim brothers and sisters and have them arguing and fussing, false accusing. Say, yeah, brother Jasir, he did this. And he said this about you. He said, yeah, brother Michael said this about you, brother Jasir. Said, Sister Elizabeth, Sister Murray said this about you. And people had holy names back then. I'm just using these names for the sake of this discussion. And we still fall for this trap right today. But all of it is rooted from the white man who learned this from his maker, Mr. Yaqub. So the message, there's no nation on earth today willing to offer him peace or will accept an offer of peace from the white race, especially America. The judgment approaches America. She is the first to be taken and destroyed. So said God to me. And backed by the prophecy of Daniel and the revelation of John, that one of the beasts, the fourth beast, was taken and destroyed, and his body given to the burning flames. This is what's going on in America now. You're looking for a literal fire. And that's your problem. You're not understanding that America's already burning. America's already dead. You are now just looking at a bouncing cat. She's making you mistake the bounce for life. That's why she sent you a $1,200 stimulus. Then she sent you another $600 giant. And then you get $400, $500, $600 a week for unemployment for about 8 weeks, which is about another $4,800. Now they say they're going to send you out to Bama. They're going to send you another $1,400. But yet she's crying broke. I mean, how many of you go look at the debt clock in America? Where she's getting this money from? They don't get me wrong. If they send me the check, I'm going to take it. And you should, so should you. But don't get the check Friday night and you be in Walmart and all these other places on Saturday morning. You don't spend half of it on televisions and iPhones and carrying on. How about you save some of that money? You find brothers and sisters like us and say, what should we do in this day and time? Because you're happy that Joe Biden have replaced Donald Trump. Mistake. That's a deceptive tactic. Now they're promoting this poor sister that got murdered down in Kentucky, Breonna Taylor, I believe. I'm seeing her on social media. From the reports that I've seen, they are going to give George Floyd's family $27 million. What do you think all this is about? They hung a man in high noon, in broad daylight. Say, yeah, we don't. Then they come right behind it with this virus, this pandemic. Have everybody walking around with masks and whatnot. Whoever that is, please put your telephone on mute. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Praise be to Allah. So this is always about deception. Always. The gas prices have jumped up almost $1 within the same time period. It cost me $80 some to fill up my truck. At one time it was 53 or 54. So it appears to me that the stimulus money was no more than a loan with compound interest. See, the devil said, the message said that the devil don't give you something and not take it back. He'll give it to you, but he'll take it back. Deception. So I said, you Muslim people, if you get your $1,400 and you do not send something into this land project, don't come back. If you don't send something in to build your own civilization, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $50. I'm not asking for all your money. But give Allah something. Because if you don't, then you're proving that you've been deceived. But that's between you and your Lord. I'm just telling you, this will be the third time, and we're still scrambling, trying to raise the money to purchase some land. This means, brothers and sisters, that you've been deceived. And you're forcing me as a teacher to be deceived. Because I'm not the messenger. I'm not even close to anything like the messenger. It was his responsibility, and he had the ability to galvanize and bring people together in such a way that no one else could. He had the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, and it was the proper time. That's not what I'm here to do. And he built a machine that focused on what he was teaching. But don't you know, brothers and sisters, after all that 43 and a half years work, what happened? What happened? The devil called them, and they came. So the devil did. He called them. It's to get your FBI COINTELPRO. To God, our Savior, Master W.D. Farad, Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, confirmed this with me. The devil cannot fulfill such promises as peace and security for you when he has none for himself. So come, submit to Allah and follow me, and Allah will sit you in heaven at once, money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. This is an article taken from Muhammad Speaks newspaper, October 21st, 1966. The next article I'm going to read is taken from October 27th, 1967, titled More War, Peace. Again. The salvation to which God and his messenger are calling you. If you don't have a copy of these articles, then you should ask me and I can get them to you. I'm almost finished. Not going to be long at all. Before I go any further, brothers and sisters, let's look up the definition of deceive. Deceive is taken from the dictionary. It calls someone to believe something that is not true, typically in order to gain some personal advantage. To give a mistaken impression. Fail to admit to oneself that something is true. What are other words for deceive? Dupe, fool, gull, hoodwink, trick, defraud, outwit, entrap, ensnare, betray. The devil has what kind of power? It's called unlike attractive power. And it's impossible for us to deny his advances when we fail to build our own civilization. It is impossible. As previously said, it just took the messenger 43.5 years to tell the black man in America something so simple. Try to use some mathematics up here today. October 27th, 1967. He said the black man of America must be warned constantly that he is the target of the slave master to deceive. After the truth has now come to the black man, not only in America, but all over the earth. I'm going to repeat this for you know-it-alls, for you haughty, high-minded, proud people who say, well, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've been doing this for 50 years. I've been in the nation for 60 years. I don't need nothing. I got the books. These are the things that you say to people like me. You call me a preacher. You say I'm fussing. Nobody want to come and talk to me. I'm okay with that. You call me the name you want to call me. But what you can't call me, brothers and sisters, you can't call me wrong. Because I'm giving you the direct words of Elijah Muhammad, messenger of Allah. Your problem is not with me. Your problem is with Elijah. So in the book, it said, did Jesus say all men will hate you? Why? For my name's sake. That's really talking about Elijah, because he's the fulfiller of all the previous prophets and messages. So I thank Allah that he give me some broad shoulders and a stubbornness that can tolerate your hatred. Because you are hating me and one of my mentors for Elijah's name's sake. And you're hating on the people who come to work with us for the same reason. But brothers and sisters, as a part of our movement, of what we're trying to get accomplished, you as an individual, you better learn to fight. Because these monkeys, they are showing up as workers for the devil, to deceive you into thinking that we're not supposed to do what we're doing. And some of them are going to try to justify their position against Elijah by using Elijah Muhammad's own words. That's what makes them the monkey family. Only a gorilla will eat the food from someone who feeds them and defecate the food back at the person who feeds them. So the Quran says, be as apes and swines, despise, for exultingly going in the wrong direction. So when we refuse to obey Master Farad Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad in the way of separating from the devil, to build our own civilization, then we become, that's who we become. We become tools for the devil. Praise be to Allah. So I'm going to repeat this first sentence. The black man of America must be warned constantly. And some of you don't like to be warned at all, let alone constantly, that he is the target of the slave master to deceive. After the truth has now come to the black man, not only in America, but all over the earth. The white race has deceived us for the past 4,000 years, since it has been up from Moses. The God of our nation, black nation, the just and righteous God Allah, is now laying the foundation for his future world out of his choice of people, the lost and found members of the black people, nicknamed Negro, with freedom, justice, and equality. Justice is the foundation of his government, often referred to in the New Testament as the kingdom of heaven on earth. The message run on the right, he said, of course, all of the kingdoms of man have been on the earth and nowhere else. The history of our nation since the white race came is that our people's minds and thoughts have been changed away from living under the law and rule of a government of righteousness. So our minds and thoughts have been changed since this devil has been on the planet. So the message said, so brother, do not be deceived into thinking you are smarter in this knowledge than they are. They already are awake. They never wanted you to know it because the truth puts them in a very bad position and in a position of disrespect and dishonor by God and the nation of righteousness. They know that they have been your foster father and have reared you into that which is other than the truth and other than the life which you should be living. Why did Musa have a hard time civilizing the devil? 2000 BC. Because he's a savage. Savage is one who has lost the knowledge of himself and is living a beast life. So you begin to look at unpacking the message's teachings. He said that since the history of our nation, since the white race came, is that our people's minds and thoughts have been changed away from living under the law and rule of a government of righteousness. So if we don't obey Allah and the messenger, we savage. We are without the knowledge of self. Why? Because we allowed the devil to deceive us. All he do is call us and we go. And then we want to blame it on the white man. He said, no, you can't blame me. All I did was call you and you came. Don't associate me with Allah now, because I can't save you. They're setting this up in small intervals. They've been doing this since Master Prophet Muhammad made himself known. Everything is about deceiving the black man. They give you Malcolm. They give you Wallace. They give you these little Jesse Jacksons and Creflo Sense with no sense, or Dollar, T.D. Jakes. They give you all of these leaders put before you. They name colleges and universities after Malcolm every year around this time. They want to promote this hypocrite. And some of you just sit at home eating whole cakes and ice cream. You nowhere in the damn fight. Nowhere. Why? Because you're chasing the devil's wealth. And I'm going to read to you what the Quran says about that, if I got time. They know that they have been your foster father and have reared you into that which is other than the truth and other than the life you should be living. They are angry with the God of righteousness and truth. I'm not going to read no more of this article, but you should get it. Well, I'll go through it some more. The message says, you must remember, my brother, though truth has come to you, the white man is wiser to the knowledge of good and evil. You are not equally as wise as he. He will deceive you in the knowledge of evil and good. He will make you mistake one for the other, as he is doing now. You are deceived and think what he is leading to you is right. And what God and his messenger are calling you to is wrong. What are they calling you to, brothers and sisters? Somebody answer me. Take your telephone on mute, off mute. What is God and his messenger calling us to? Somebody answer me, please. Are y'all there?
Yes, sir. I'm thinking.
You thinking? You don't know the answer? Okay. We teach it every week, brothers and sisters. They're calling us to separate from the devil, brother.
Yes, sir.
And build our own society. He's calling us to unite and acquire some land of our own. So I'm going to repeat this again. You must remember, my brother, though truth has come to you, the white man is wiser to the knowledge of good and evil. You are not equally as wise as he. He will deceive you in the knowledge of evil and good. He will make you mistake one for the other, as he is doing now. You are deceived and think what he is leading you to is right, and what God and his messenger are calling you to is wrong. He wants you to think that the temporary life he invites you to accept is permanent and better than what Allah and his messenger are offering you. All of the fantastic sport and play, filth and indecency are designed to take the so-called Negroes by the thousands to their doom. Therefore, knowing you to be the object, I must warn you, as the Bible warns us all, against underestimating the knowledge of the evildoer in these words. Be wise as a serpent and humble as a dove. The offer of high positions, the offer of positions in high office to our people is nothing but an attempt to deceive them to thinking these offers are forever. Some of our people in politics even hope that someday they will be the president of the United States. Yet they have not asked for 1 square foot of the country to rule. This is really a foolish way of thinking. Why would the white man want you and me as his president in America, as he is capable of producing out of his own race men qualified and capable to be their president in the country they call their own? There is not one state here that belongs to the Negroes. They all belong to the white people. Now you can read this and you're going to say, well, no, Mr. Muhammad, we had a black president, so then you're going to try to make him wrong. You can't make the messenger wrong. Because I'm going to go further into this article. And you listen good. And I was telling people back in 2008, when Barack Obama was elected, you should have ran and got the hell out of the way then. You should have known that this was going to be a deception. He come up out of nowhere and win the presidency. He did not just serve 4 years, he served 8 years. And what did he do? It put black people right back to sleep. You said, we finally made it. No, man, you just got left. But the master going to tell you this. He said, get such ignorant dreams out of your head. If they wanted you to be their president, it would be only them under a black skin continuing to rule, as is the case of many of our politicians today. Though he may be black, under his skin, he loves whatever the white man says. The silly idea of wanting to be the wife or husband of the enemy is sure to get you to hell with the enemy. He knows that you are blind and that you always love to intermarry and intermix with their blood. So he swings the door of opportunity wide open for you to walk into the trap. I mean, come on, they're giving the man $27 million. The man had a white fiance. I'm not saying he deserved to be murdered by the devil because he was messing with a beast or cave woman. I'm not saying that. But I'm with Elijah. And the messenger said in the making of devil that some of our people are so in love with the devil and would not believe in the truth and hate him for teaching the truth of this race of devils. They are so in love with them, he said, that we could lose them and not even miss them. Are you talking about Mr. George Floyd, Brother Jasir? No, I'm not talking about him directly. I'm just talking about what the messenger said. Our brother was deceived. You want to stay with Elijah so you can comprehend his teaching and realize what the devil is doing. Remember these words and keep this article. Cut it out of the newspaper and keep it with you so that your mind may reflect on your future and not over a temporary chance. We need some of this earth that we can call our own. So he wrote an entire 3-page article. And at the very end, he said what? We need some of this earth that we can call our own. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to bring this to a close. But not before I cover something out, message to the black man. Plan to destroy our race. The American so-called Negroes are gravely deceived by the slave master's teaching of God and the true religion of God. They do not know that they are deceived and earnestly believe they are right regardless of how vile the white race may be. My poor people are mentally blind, deaf, and dumb, and full of fear. That's what we're working with today. Pray to Allah. Pray to Master Prophet Muhammad like the Messenger told you and I. Submit to him. And we will be the victor. If we fail to obey the messenger, we will be the loser. One more thing. So, the messenger, we seem to think that we have carte blanche to walk into heaven. We don't. We just do not. We do not have carte blanche. We have wasted too much money trying to be the equal of the millionaires of America. We like sport and play, but we suffer the pains of hunger because of the millions of dollars lost paying notes for luxury we could do without, such as fine automobiles, fine clothes, whiskey, beer, wine, cigarettes, tobacco, and drugs. He said, let the entire nation sacrifice for 3 years. Confine ourselves to buy not more than 3 suits of clothing a year, never exceeding $65 in cost. Buy the minimum amount of shoes, never paying over $16 a pair, as long as current prices for the above-mentioned merchandise remain the same. Of course, inflation can run prices up until the money has no value, and that's what has happened. We should cut down on waste and high-priced food, eat pure and wholesome food without being extravagant. Let us cut our extravagance. Elijah Muhammad, last message of Allah. And this is the problem that we have. We're not able to do that because unfortunately we have lived as the prodigal son, wasteful. But we have to get rid of this, and we have to do it soon. The message says that naturally we will be destroyed with the devil if we don't get up and do something for self. May Allah bless us all to avoid being deceived by the enemy and avoid being self-deceived. Don't lock one another into worshiping our enemies through our lack of unity. I leave you as I came before you in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest apostle, our dear leader and teacher and perfect guide, the great Elijah Muhammad. I leave you as I came before you in our nation's greetings of peace and of paradise of Assalamu alaikum.